Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Shri Vallabhadi, Shaki Jai Ho. Sab Vaishnav Anko Jai Shri Krishna. Today is day 169 in the recitations of the 252 Vaishnava Varta, and we are in Varta 149, story of the moneylender's daughter-in-law. Continuing from yesterday, the two cages were kept near the door of the place where the Vaishnava was. Night fell and everyone went to sleep. The girl then called out to the Turk and said, "Oh, please don't sleep. I wish to speak with you." The Turk thought to himself, "Oh, today I'm most fortunate that the girl now wishes to speak with me." The girl piped up, "The Emperor has given me to you. However, I should just like to know how you came to have all of those proceedings in writing. Please tell me. I shall then be able to appreciate how powerful and clever you are. No one else is anywhere nearby to listen." With the grace of the Lord, the Turk's mind fell prey to some confusion. He was no longer able to conceal his sin. He said to her, "I shall definitely tell you everything, but later." The girl spoke up again. "Why will you not tell me now? Only the two of us are here. There is no third person anywhere nearby. When I hear what you have to tell me, I shall surely be impressed and shall willingly go with you." The Turk spoke up. "Do you remember that day when you slapped me and ran into your house? You had been sitting behind your house drying your hair and I caught sight of you. I forced my horse to jump over the fence into your garden and got down from my horse. I then grabbed hold of your hand." The girl remembered it all and said, "Oh yes, now I recall. I slapped you so that you would remember and behave properly after that." "Then what did you do?" The Turk continued. "I felt very bad that I had been slapped by a woman and I considered my life useless, so I made a plan." The girl further asked him, "How did you get all the names of my family and how did you write them all down? What else did you do? Please tell me." The Turk admitted, "The old lady who used to come to your house? I used to meet with her. She would ask you all the names and then she told me and I wrote them all down. I called her mother and bribed her with money." He then told the girl everything he had done, how he had brought the prostitute's daughter there and taught her what he wanted her to say. He revealed everything. When the Vaishnava moneylender who had been appointed to listen had heard all that the Turk had said, he coughed loudly. The girl spoke out to him, "Have you heard all this and remembered it?" The Vaishnava said that he had. "Now you have nothing to worry about. The Lord has stood as a witness before you." When the Turk heard this, his heart came into his mouth. He wondered how all of this could have come about. It was soon the morning. Sri Gosaiji cleaned his teeth and hurried to the court. The Emperor respectfully greeted him. The two cages were opened and the two of them were led into the court. Then they called the Vaishnava who had locked the door of the cages. Sri Gosaiji also had a man to go fetch the girl's family and in-laws. After summoning to court Raja Toramal, Birbal, and all other important officer-bearers, the court was complete. The Emperor asked Sri Gosaiji to call the Vaishnava who had been listening to them to tell them all that had been said. That night, the Emperor asked the money-lender Vaishnava, "Oh, Sethi, please tell us what was spoken between these two when they were in the cages. Tell us everything you heard." The Vaishnava said, "I indeed heard everything, and everything they said. The girl was telling the truth all the time. The Turk is a great sinner. Please ask him to tell you. If he cannot remember..." Excuse me. "If he cannot remember, I shall tell you." The Turk was told to recount the whole story, but he found it impossible to speak. He was as good as dead already. He dried up like a corpse. Then the Vaishnava moneylender told the whole story in detail. He spoke of how he came into her back garden and grabbed her hand, and how she got him to let go and then slapped him, how he persuaded the old lady to give him all the family names and her bodily marks, how he wrote all this information down, how he employed a prostitute's daughter and made her learn all this information, how he had brought her to the court and had her testimony written down, how he paid the court and then took that prostitute's daughter back home, how he had paid her, how he had then come back to the court 4 or 5 days later and made a complaint against the girl. The Vaishnava recounted all of the story in detail and then said, "I have told you everything. Now you must decide what to do." The Emperor was extremely angry with the Turk and ordered his execution. However, Sri Gosaiji said to the Emperor, "My opinion is that you should not execute anyone. Please listen. Send one man to fetch the ruler of that region and the old lady so that we can all have all the proof and then can make a judgment based on all the evidence. Whosoever took money for making these false accusations should be properly punished. I shall stay here until this matter is concluded." They put the Turk in jail, and the Emperor praised Sri Gosaiji profusely, saying, "You have protected my religious duty. If you had not done this, I would have been responsible for this girl's downfall and death." You are truly the Lord himself. Only the Lord can make such correct judgment. He sent one man telling him to bring them straight away. Sri Gosaiji went back to his camp. He told the daughter-in-law to go back to her father and father-in-law. She piped up, "Oh, Maharaj, where should I now go? You are my one and only. Everyone else abandoned me when I needed them. I wish to stay here at your feet. I have no other shelter." Sri Gosaiji said, "You are tantamount to my own daughter. Now you have nothing to worry about. Please do as I say and go home. Sri Thakurji now recognizes you. Your way is now clear. Go home and serve the Lord." Sri Gosaiji then summoned her father and father-in-law and told them, "This girl is a divine soul. She is most forbearing. She has immense tolerance. Please persuade her to go home with you. When there, you should follow her example." The girl spoke up, "But, oh Maharaj, I am not a Vaishnava, neither are they. I do not wish to go with them." They all requested Sri Gosaiji to accept them as disciples. He initiated all of them with the Lord's name and the Brahma Sambandh. Everyone in her family became Vaishnava. Sri Gosaiji went to stay with them. After this, the local ruler and the old lady arrived in court. The emperor summoned Sri Gosaiji. He came to court, as did the jury members. The king asked Sri Gosaiji what should be asked of them, that they would follow his lead. Sri Gosaiji said, "Ask the old lady to tell everything that went on, to tell them the plain truth." The old lady then told them everything that had happened. She added, "I am a fool. I did not realize that the Turk was a fraudulent and treacherous person. I asked the daughter-in-law whatever he asked me to find out, and I relayed that information to him. I told him about her distinctive bodily markings. Please do with me as you feel fit." After this, the prostitute's daughter was interrogated, and she revealed everything that had gone on. She said, "He told me what I had to do and taught me all the names. I did as he said. As per my profession, he offered me money to do this. I give up my body for the sake of earning money." Then the local ruler was interrogated. "Did you make this mistaken judgment for the sake of money?" He replied, "I did not know that he was devising such a hugely deceptive plot." Sri Gosaiji asked him, "But then why did you only call her relatives later? Why did you not call them at the beginning and ask them why they thought the Turk was making these accusations? You made this uninformed judgment because you were foolishly proud of your authority." The ruler said, "Yes, indeed, I made a big mistake." Sri Gosaiji continued, "Because of this mistake, she lost everything and was ready to die." The emperor interjected, "Execute all of them." Sri Gosaiji said, "No, do not do this. Please do as I instruct. First of all, find the old lady. Take everything that this prostitute's daughter owns from her house. Sack this ruler, replace him, and take from him everything he owns. This will be a lesson to all to never make such hasty and wrong decisions again. Cut off the Turk's nose and take away from him everything that he owns. Throw him out of the kingdom." The emperor did exactly as Sri Gosaiji commanded. He then wanted to give Sri Gosaiji a hefty donation, but Sri Gosaiji would not accept a penny from him. The emperor pleaded with him, "Oh, I am your humble servant. Please be kind enough to tell me if there is anything that I can do for you. Please do bless me. You have protected my rulership and my jurisdiction. I am your servant." Sri Gosaiji then departed from there. He came to Najidwar. She, the daughter-in-law, and all her family accompanied him. They all had the holy sight of Sri Govardhan Nachi. Then they toured around the whole of Vraj. After this, they spent a couple of days in Gokul and listened to Sri Gosaiji's divine discourses. They asked him to explain to them all the ways of the path of grace, and he did so. The daughter-in-law requested him to grant her the savour of one Swarupa of the child Krishna, and he did. They then all took their leave of Sri Gosaiji and returned to their hometown. Sri Gosaiji offered her many instructions and encouragement. He also said to her relatives, "Listen, this girl has protected your religious duty and brought dignity to your worldly path. Sri Thakurji could not bear her suffering in separation for him, and so, due to her, you now have the fortune of having all become Vaishnavas. Now you must do what she says and make sure she is always well looked after. This is the way for you all to be happy. She is a divine soul and belongs in the Lord's own realm. She has saintly patience. She kept her dignity even in times of extremely grievous situations. She never surrendered her righteous path. She is a great divine soul." All of them returned home. They performed seva exactly as Sri Gosaiji had instructed. It was not long before Sri Thakurji granted them his direct experience. The daughter-in-law's every wish was granted. The whole household followed her lead. They kept to their path and relied on her. Bhav Prakash. The moral of this story is that a Vaishnava should remain tolerant and resistant whatever comes to challenge them. They should know that the Lord's plan for them is perfect. A Vaishnava always has absolute faith and surrender. Then only their life can reach perfection. Thus includes Varta 149, the story of the daughter-in-law of the money-lender from Surat, who was the recipient of Sri Gosaiji's great grace and an accomplished Vaishnava. There is truly no end to her tale. Sab Vaishnavan ko sadar sadenya saprem sanambra Jai Shri Krishna. Sab Vaishnavan ko Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. We'll continue tomorrow with Varta 150. Jai Ho, Aaj ke Anand ki Jai Ho.